Hello, YouTube. Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting on a Fan. Good evening to all of you in YouTube land. Before we go any further, I'm going to have Drake do a quick close-up of the beautiful pins that I'm wearing. So, of course, we'll start with this one. This is the gay male flag, blue, green, white. Different from the rainbow flag, different from the lesbian flag, different from the other flags. And then this beautiful cat with the moon on its third eye. This was a beautiful birthday gift from a dear friend of mine who is also a mutual friend of Drake's. Drake is more commonly known as my awesome audiovisual person for my YouTube videos. Is that what I'm doing? Isn't it cute? Look at that beautiful kitty. My friend D. Mike definitely knows me. Anyway, it is my pleasure to continue this more than a walkthrough series of videos with the Pride Tarot, a collaborative deck, which was published by US Game Systems Incorporated in April 2020. We are now in March 2024, so make no mistake, it is also my pleasure to begin concluding this more than a walkthrough series of videos with the Pride Tarot, a collaborative deck. It's taken too long. I'll be the first one to say that. I'm sure I'm not the only one thinking it, but you know what I mean. So here we have the Ten of Pentacles by Dr. Franky Dolan. If Dr. Franky Dolan's name sounds familiar, it is because Dr. Franky Dolan has also illustrated the Ten of Wands in the same tarot deck. And I want to tell you, Dr. Franky Dolan's story has to be probably the most startling I've ever read of any bio in the guidebook, in the accompanying guidebook. So, yeah. But truly, it just blows my mind, because when I was going through the deck, I'm like, Dr. Franky Dolan, he's illustrated at least one other card, right? Right, and I went through the deck and all this other stuff. So, anyway, in the meantime, I'm going to have Drake make sure that the camera is focused on the card. I'm going to read about the Ten of Pentacles, which was illustrated by Dr. Franky Dolan, and it's in Dr. Dolan's own words. So here we go. Oh, of course, I'm going to put on my super mega-powered reading glasses with the lights on the side. So I'm going to turn them on so you know what to do, YouTube. 3, 2, 1, on. Even the lights are bright, but you know what I mean. They help. They help. Ten of Pentacles by Dr. Franky Dolan. Two women stand beneath the archway of pentacles which reigns over their lives. One woman promises the other, "I will love you forever," as she offers her a bloom from her heart. There is a flash, then a boom. An awakening of love showers over them both. "My God," says the other woman, "I never knew this could ever happen to me." I've had that moment. I had that moment too, actually. She closes her eyes and falls deeply within her soul. She takes a breath, remembers her childhood dreams, and accepts the rose from this rainbow garden of love. Because they allow themselves to live in love together, they create a life full of family, wealth, and eternal love. Divine meaning. Nurture honest love and gain abundant riches, joy, security, and family. I love that. I love that. And here is the bio of Dr. Franky Dolan. After a lifetime of living with an quote-unquote invisible neuroimmune disease, Dr. Franky Dolan became bedridden for many years. Hours upon hours were spent alone and painfully ill, leaving the mind with only one option for survival. Franky went into a daily monk-like meditation, every single day for years. Overwhelming visions and messages were so strong he could barely contain them in his body. So his partner, his life partner, Randy Ordonio, brought him paints and clay one day and said, "Create your visions." With no formal art training, Franky looked down at his hands and began to sculpt and paint these psychic impressions, all from his bed or even on the floor. From this, they created Fae Factory, a place where they showcased Dr. Franky Dolan's spiritual and artistic gifts to help the world. There is a website, there is an Instagram address, and I have this vague recollection there is also an Etsy shop. I don't remember offhand, but if there is, I will include that in the description box for this video. Like I said, reading Dr. Franky Dolan's bio left a massive impression on me. And I must admit, it reminds me a little bit of something that happened to me almost 20 years ago, if not more than 20 years ago. I honestly don't remember what had happened to me. But what I remember was that I became very ill. I don't even know what I had, because at the time I didn't have health insurance. And to be perfectly honest, I didn't even have the physical strength to leave my apartment to go to a doctor. I was barely eating. Anything that I did spent what little physical energy I had. If I fed the cat, at the time there was only Isis, the late and great Isis, the alpha female, I would spend several hours in bed. And at one point I just said to myself, I have to save myself. I have to do something to save myself. And I remembered I would alternate between my healing is already in progress, one of the most beautiful affirmations to come from the late and great Louise L, and the other was a spiritual decree that I learned from Dr. Catherine Ponder's books. And it goes, no person, thing, or event can keep from me that which the universe has for me now. All that has been done against me now helps me. And to be perfectly honest, I had only enough mental energy to alternate between that healing affirmation from Louise L and that spiritual decree from the current and great Dr. Catherine Ponder. And to say that I would say each of them in my mind, or even whisper them aloud, at least 100 times each, is not an exaggeration. I probably spent using either one of them at least 500 times in a day. And as far as I'm concerned, they did save my life. I will include both the affirmation and the spiritual decree in the description box. But yeah, so I am very happy to know that Dr. Franky Dolan is alive and creating art and thriving and living. And I am so thankful, as always, to U.S. Game Systems Incorporated for publishing a tarot deck that honors and celebrates the legacy of the LGBTQIA2S+ community, a community of which I form part. And of course, as always, I am most thankful to all of you in YouTube land for all the likes, all the comments, all the shares, and all the subscriptions to my YouTube channel. And an extra big and beautiful and bountiful thank you to all of you who have already scheduled your sessions, including the individual who's going to have a video reading with me tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. As always, stay in tune with your intuition, stay safe, stay well, stay hydrated, and stay tuned for the next video.